What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This set of ice and fire, what blood red death, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How about that, man? I got here like 35 seconds ago, hit the live, sent the invites. Our guests are down in the waiting room. We'll put them on in just a second. We already got like 6 or 7 people on the live. Wow, this is fun.
I didn't even get a chance to decorate yet.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy.
There.
Now we're decorated. You know your nameplate is in front of it. You know, maybe you put the plate on the other side. There we go. Now we can see it. That's
now it's in front of me.
Bill Wolf in the house. James Sloan. Can't wait. Excited.
I actually
James
like
B.
it here.
Cross, Nina.
I like it there.
Yeah, you can't see it.
I don't care. You
Let's
can see the green.
Maybe for next time we can get something to elevate it so it's above your name.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And there's going to be no product placement of any kind on this episode. Just so, you know, everybody knows. Send the checks to the library.
Checks. Right on. Chris Olin, what's up, dude? How's it going? Yeah, so we got a big show tonight. Tuesday instead of Thursday, but you guys have already done better than the last Tuesday show because we've got like 7 of you. When the last Tuesday show, I don't think we had 7 the whole time. It was one of our better interviews too, so I was kind of upset about that. But
dude, even Walter's here. Walter's got a front row seat.
Walter, right on. So we were supposed to go live at 7, but I got called into work. That screwed everything up, but I only worked 6 minutes away from here. So I jumped in the car, headed down here. I'm going to go ahead and bring our guests on. Get that rolling. We got Sam and Johnna Hodge. How's it going?
Hey.
Redhead,
guys.
over there. You got a point. I can't reach.
Down there.
No, the point is the logo in the corner.
Oh.
Other way.
That's there.
That one. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Hey,
good.
how's it going for you?
Fantastic, man. Just the mad dash home to get here, turn on the live. I already had everything set up, so it was a little bit easy.
Yeah, when we got in the car just now to come home, it was like 115 degrees. Yeah, I mean it cooled down to 97 or so, but like
Where you guys at?
West Virginia.
That's what I thought. It gets that hot like that there?
It's swamp ass.
Oh man.
And
Yeah,
the AC in my Camaro went out, so we are really having fun with that.
Oh yeah, I got a Cadillac, same thing, no AC, so
it's awful,
really,
isn't it?
really tough in the summer.
I told her earlier you spend an hour in the bathtub soaking and you mess it all up in 5 minutes in the sun.
Right on. Okay, so we got lots of Charles Sherrod from the Dive Podcast is here. We got Patricia Van Duzen.
Hey, Patricia.
Hey, Sam and Johnna.
Producer.
And then we got a lot of people's
James,
names I don't
he's
recognize that are coming to see you guys.
Love you, James. Love you so much.
All right. Were you saying something, Ryan? Oh, okay. I'm just all discombobulated just because this is not the way we usually do things.
I'm just feeding off the positive energy because I worked in a warehouse today that was as hot as the devil's taint. So
I had tit sweat when I walked outside.
Yeah, they got home like 2 minutes before we went on live too. So like everybody just showed up at the same time. Bam! It's all beautiful. So, how you guys doing tonight?
We're doing really we're really excited.
Riding some
Right
positive
on. Yeah, I've been wanting to have you guys on for a
Positive
while,
Yeah.
but I figured this is as good a time as any because we're doing the Ohio Terracon. Me and Ryan, it's our first live appearance, official appearance where we're booked for something. We don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna be there.
I know what we're gonna do.
He knows what he's the man with the
always
plan.
see
Yeah,
that.
then I get to meet you guys in person. So
Yes.
that's how I came to find out who you guys were. Is I'm reviewing films for that.
Oh
And,
my gosh.
And I came across one of your posts somewhere, and it goes, "Oh yeah, I seen the flick. I loved it." And then Sam messages me, "What the hell you mean you seen the movie?" I'm like, because I guess it wasn't out to the public at that point. And I'm like, was I not supposed to?
We didn't know you were a reviewer, so
We
like,
didn't know
it's
you was a
different then.
reviewer, so that's awesome. We're glad you
I
saw
was
it.
like, okay, who leaked this thing?
Right on. Right on. So yeah, you guys are going to be there in person for the Ohio Terracon, and we're going to
Yes.
in the next
We're
couple.
gonna come represent the movie.
Hell yeah! So we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks shows to help promote that. And the first one we're doing is with you guys, and we're going to have wanted to talk to you guys because you're going to be there. We really dug your movie, dug what you got coming up. We got the trailer. We're going to play for the teaser part 2. I have that loaded in here somewhere, so we're going to play that a little later. And then in the next week or so, we're going to have Hal Havens from not this Thursday, but next Thursday from Night of the Demons, and then some other people. We're going to try to get some vendors on that are going to be at the show. And we're really excited about this because in Cleveland, we've never really had anything like this. Ryan, travel all different places. We've been to Michigan, New Jersey, different places for different horror events. But in our backyard, we really haven't had anything.
No, not really.
For this in the film festival, and Zach's doing an awesome job getting this thing together. He's really stressed, but
We've had Cinema Wasteland, but it's never been like this where it's all kind of coming together in one place.
not only that, we didn't even know Cinema Wasteland really existed. Like they do such a horrible job advertising. We went a couple times since then, but this is like one of the oldest cons in the country. We didn't even know about it, and it takes place in the same place Ohio Terracon is going to be, which is 7 minutes from my house. And I never even knew it existed.
We love
That's what
how-
JP just says. We have Cinema Wasteland.
Yeah.
So how did you guys get started? How did you first get into horror? What was your first experience with horror?
Go ahead. Tell
That's the easy question.
Tell me.
My first experience before I started acting and helping make films and doing films was when I was little. I was with my parents, and later on they got divorced and I wasn't with them anymore. But before that happened, I was with them, and my father and my mother was watching The Thing. And I was curious about it, and they was like, "Oh, you're too little," because I was born in 1977, and I was
you're about our age.
And I was curious about all things creepy, and I couldn't help it. That's just the way I was built, like the way I was made in my mind. Like I wanted to see creepy stuff. So they were like, "Oh, it's too creepy." And then later on, next thing you know, they was like, "Okay, we'll let you watch it, and if you get too scared, you'll see why." And as soon as I started watching it, I loved it. And I just grinned. And they were like, what kind of daughter do I like? She's not scared and she's enjoying this.
Because you were like probably 5.
Yeah.
6.
And all I could do was enjoy every bit of the whole thing. And I couldn't get scared. I was watching and looking and being infatuated with how cool everything was.
Yeah.
The hell
So
of
that was like the first thing that kind of let me know that I was going to be a horror fan the rest of my life.
Yeah.
the
Right
hell
on.
of a film to break in with. It's one of Rick and I's, both of our favorites. So.
Yeah, I just seen it for the
I
first
think
time
so
last
too.
year. Believe it or not, I've just seen it for the first time last year, and I personally, I think it might be one of the greatest films for any genre ever made.
The
It's
effects
amazing.
was so
It's
good
amazing.
in it. It's amazing.
So ahead of its time.
My first real instance in understanding that I was going to be like kind of a messed up individual was, so like back in the 80s, you got the TV that's got the the clicker, like you're turning it and it's loud as crap and you can't hide it from anybody. My mom was in that room sewing or something, and I happened to come across the intro for Nightmare on Elm Street. And,
Right on.
I was standing this close to the TV. I had it down kind of low, and I was like, "This is creepy." Because I was probably 4, And all of a sudden, Tina starts getting murdered, dragged across the ceiling and screaming a whole lot and getting brutal. That's a really loud scene. My mom comes in and she starts screaming at me and telling, don't you know you can invite bad things in by doing that? Like, you shouldn't be watching that. You're going to invite bad stuff in. And that stuck with me and really kind of made it even worse. I think that made, that vibe as a kid, you think, oh, well, I guess my parent knows what they're talking about. So that's really scary. But
I think Nightmare. I still have nightmares about Nightmare on Elm Street to this day.
Does.
To this day.
I think
it doesn't affect me the way it did then. I mean, I was always into horror movies, but they scared the shit out of me. But I kept watching anyway. And Nightmare. It's funny you guys picked a Carpenter movie and a Craven movie.
Yeah. If you know us at all, we kind of go back and forth on those.
Yeah.
Very innovative.
That's what kind of inspirational things that come when you're later a filmmaker. I feel like
right on.
Watch as a child is an inspiration to you.
I think the first thing that actually scared me was probably Hellraiser.
Hellraiser was awesome.
There's a lot of scary things about the attitude of Hellraiser. We are kind of picking Clive Barker's brain a little bit.
We are a little bit
with coming up on Redhead 2. Like we're trying to think in that kind of
as
manner.
Far as hell goes. Yes,
that hell is your internal.
Because that is hell, and he kind of did a great job at hell. And we're kind of thinking that way a little bit because that's how we feel like hell really might be if you would go.
It's your own,
your own personal hell.
I'm a huge Hellraiser guy. I'm a very notoriously tough critic, and that's one of the very few films I actually rated higher than Mr. Rick over here.
Yeah, you gave that an A. That's one of your few A's.
Yes.
I think I gave it a B or B plus.
Yeah.
And I'm like pretty generous, but no, I like the movie too. Yeah, it's really good. I just started watching the Hulu one. Did you guys see that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I just started. I started watching it.
We did. Okay.
The one with
the girl Pinhead.
Yeah.
And I watched like a half hour of it and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
There's too much.
We love the original so much with Doug Bradley.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Doug Bradley is such an incredible guy.
Well, Clive Barker didn't make any bones about what he was doing. He didn't apologize for his work, and he wasn't trying to put out any message. He just he put his nightmare on camera, like on book. Like he put it to print, and then he put it on film, and he did it the best he could. And there was no juxtaposition as far as like the media is concerned. There was no trying to mold people into. He just wanted to do his thing. He wanted to show his story, and he didn't care what anybody thought.
Yeah, that's what you need with art in general. I think
that's how we are too.
Absolutely,
we're like, hey, I know that I'm going to be nasty and gross and all this, but we got to do what we got to do. I don't care to be gross. I don't care to be nasty.
I will say y'all definitely don't pull any punches. So
Ryan got to see the film too for this. So
yeah, I have friends in medium places. So
you guys are awesome.
So when did you decide to start making movies yourself? Like when did you decide that that's where you wanted to go with your life?
I was a horror film reviewer for many years with my friend Evan. We had a YouTube channel called The Horror Appraisal, and so with that I kind of learned a little bit about film editing. But I've been a music producer since 2002. So I had a little bit of knowledge in that aspect of things, and then all of a sudden, a friend that I work with named Travis Robinson bought in on a old empty home, and they've made it thus into a very successful haunted house, a very profitable haunted house. And but before it became profitable, they took me out there to shoot a trailer on it on a cell phone, and I said, you know what, I really like this. I said, before you get it completely transformed, I want to make a movie here. So we, Thanksgiving of 2016, wrote a script and I had it done by Christmas, and we were filming by January 7th, 2017. And we released our first full-length feature film before we ever did a short film. And then we met in 2019. I've done a couple things since, and she had a huge knack for it. She'll do whatever.
It was funny the first time I always wanted to be in horror movies. I've studied all the 80s horror films since I grew up, and I told you my age, so you know why I kind of studied them all.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be in a horror movie, and it was funny because the first thing I applied for was to be in Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh, nice.
And, when I applied for that, they told me whenever I applied for it, because I didn't know what the role was, but they needed some extra people in some roles, and they need somebody to do a role. And I said, let them know who I was, showed them a picture, let them know, how inspirational they was to me. And they sent it back to me in an email that I still have today that said I had to look for it, but they needed somebody that was local because they were needing somebody local because of all the different shots that they had to take.
Yeah.
And it was in the shot, kind of in the pink fuck shot where she was riding the bull and she was going in to be a deadite. And I wish I could have got that because that would have been really phenomenal for Sammy, I think, if I would have started with that. Yeah. But then that didn't happen. So then he caught a glimpse of my profile. And he was like, ooh. And he thought that I would do great for a role when he saw my profile. And he started messaging me. Then it went from, we forgot about the movie stuff. We started talking about all of our likes, all of our wants, all the things that we've ever loved, all the horror cons we went to, all the stars we've met, everything. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, we are going to be life mates here.
Yeah.
Because we are the perfect mate. And then when he started talking about making movies, he knew I had what it took to be with him and us be movie maker couple, and that I would be dedicated with him and I would never stop being dedicated, and I've never stopped.
Well,
and
her first role was eating a guy's ass as a zombie. She was a zombie, and this guy was making out with her. She bites his ass cheek and rips it off. And
I'm like going.
That was my friend. It was my friend Travis, and it was in like 100-degree heat.
So I took a rock to the face, and it was incredible because it looked like it really hit me, but it didn't.
We should have drawn some stink lines.
But he knew I was outgoing, and I knew he was outgoing, and that's what makes it work. You have to be outgoing, and
she doesn't mind to be filthy, and that's the. Perfect...
I don't mind to be filthy. I don't mind to have blood all in my eyes. I will look it straight at my victim, and I will have it all in my eyes, and I don't care. And I am outgoing. I don't care what it takes to do a scene. I will have rocks in my knees, which I've had before. I will suffer with rocks in my knees for a scene. I don't care.
Dedicated to the craft.
I've had my neck to the point where I've had stuff messed up. I don't care.
Thank you, James.
We love you, James.
So you do. I was going to bring that up. You do all your own special effects, then, right?
And our own stunts.
Well, I don't do all of my own special effects. So with Redhead, we had help with some blood spraying and things like that from Travis Robinson. Mm-hmm. Josh Adkins did some makeup looks as well as Travis.
In the first couple scenes, he sure did.
Yeah. And then Boyd Smith helped us in the end.
In the end, he did some filming.
With some blood spraying.
And blood spraying, yes.
But otherwise, as far as like building the prosthetics, I built the prosthetics, and every now and then I'm like, hey, help me, come here. God, it's about ready to drip. Like,
me and him, and we worked together to make the skeletons and the beginning shots together, like for Redhead 2. Like me and him, we don't care. We make guts together.
Well, later tonight,
like we don't care. That's our date nights, is making effects.
Later tonight, we're doing a full torso cast of Johnna.
Yeah, full torso tonight.
Boobies and belly and everything, because there is a scene in hell where she gets torn apart by demons, and we're making a full silicone. We're making a full silicone second layer that can be pulled away, So like her real skin is gonna have like guts and gore and stuff on it, and then the outside layer is gonna be on top of that, so they can reach in and pull stuff out. It'd be great,
And then how did you learn how to do?
Little demon arms and hands too, to where they can like have real demon hands going in there, like 8 or 9 pairs that we're gonna make.
Nice. So how did you learn how to do stuff like that? Did you go to school for that, or did you just
YouTube?
Well, it's not
YouTube. The College of YouTube.
No,
YouTube University.
Yeah.
Don't down yourself. This man will stay up all night long. Just being honest, he'll
Yeah.
stay up all night long, and he'll be in bed with me, and he can't go to sleep because all he does is
How can I blow
think,
this guy's head
how
off?
can I blow this head off of this guy, Aunt Johnna, and make it look real? And he'll be sitting there thinking all night. He can't sleep.
But then I instead of keeping her up, I'll go and lay in the bathtub.
He'll go
And-
lay in the bathtub with Epsom salt and be thinking of this. And then whenever we get up, he's making the stuff and he's hardcore on, okay, I know what to do now. I've thought of it. And he's making this stuff on his own here in the house.
Yeah,
And
that's
he'll have
crazy.
it ready to go on the scene. And it's like, oh my, and it looks so real. We couldn't believe it. And
Yeah, your effects are top notch for sure. There's like, I mean, it looks like way more money went into these films than what I know did.
his talent is up here. And
Right.
he,
Give me some gelatin, toilet paper, and food coloring, and I will make something really great.
Yeah.
This man can make the best effects out of nothing, and he will make them look as good as if you spent $4,000
Well,
on them.
we did win
It's
best.
crazy.
We did win best special effects in New Jersey, so that was cool. New Jersey.
Right. Well, and, yeah, definitely warranted for sure.
I didn't expect that. My thing is like cinematography, like movie making. It's not to be the special effects guy. I just do it out of necessity.
Yeah.
He does a great job. I'm very proud of him.
I wish we could just pay a guy like Tom Savini to come on and say, hey, dude,
Yeah.
make it look good.
Damian Leone does all
Yeah.
his own stuff too, like
Oh yeah,
so.
Oh,
We
does
are
he? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
John Dugan, though, to be in Redhead too.
we're trying.
What's
we're
it,
trying.
say that again?
We are shooting for John Dugan to be in Redhead too with us because
Better-
we're really close to him.
Got to raise the cash.
Oh, that's all. He was our first big guest we ever had. We
Yeah,
love John.
We are
We want him.
really wanting him to be in the horror house scene in hell. Really
that'd
bad.
be great.
Definitely one of
Hell-
the coolest
Hell-
guys ever.
I mean, you can't live too far from you. He's in Tennessee to West Virginia.
Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 5 hours.
Yeah.
5-hour drive.
Right on. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, John's the man. We love him. We had him and
Yeah.
Alan Danziger on a while ago, and he was like one of our first guests, and he was just a riot, man.
I'd love to get out. Dude, like the Alan is cool. And,
Yes.
those original TCM guys. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like they don't really. Nowadays, they probably have limits on what they would do to their bodies.
Yeah,
Because you got to think about longevity, but
Yeah.
there are a couple guys that probably get what we're doing. Like as far as like we torture ourselves and we don't really mind what we're going through.
We don't mind what hell. And I mean, we used a chainsaw with a real chain on it the whole time, kind of like
oh wow,
chainsaw. And I had
they
to
did
go
that in
over top
TCM
of it.
too.
Yes, and I love that movie so much. Like, and we really had to do some crazy stuff to get some shots. Like the part where I was coming at Travis, which was the detective, and then the movie where I was coming at him before I killed him.
You see the POV.
You see the POV. That was me coming at him with a real chainsaw, running with the chain, with the camera. It was real hardcore stuff.
Well, somebody has to be the POV.
Yeah, and
But we
It-
tried trust, and it worked.
in the 74 Texas Chainsaw, when the scene where Gunner runs the chainsaw into his leg, that's a live chainsaw, and they had like
Yes.
meat taped to his leg. That was their
Yes.
idea of special effects.
Well, he had
And
they
it
put
burned him.
they put a piece of metal underneath the stake, and then like
Okay, at least they did that. All right.
where the chain moves so fast, like it made it really hot, very
Yes.
like in just a zzz, like it burned him more than it hurt. Like it scared him, but it burned him.
And we
Oh,
respect
yeah.
him for that because he did that, and that's why we was like, we're not going to cut any corners on our movie. We're just going to go hardcore, the real stuff, and make real weapons, no fake weapons, all real everything.
Well, her intestines ruptured.
Oh yeah,
This time last
that
year.
was terrible.
This time last year, her colon ruptured, and she was in the hospital. And
Oh, wow, so like real life, not in the movie.
yeah, well, they were getting ready to rush her back to emergency surgery, and they were telling me like, dude, I don't think she's gonna.
Make it.
They were like, you need to talk to her, but you also need to step back. Like, and they started putting tubes down her mouth and her nose. It was a hard time, I thought I was gonna lose my wife, and
Yeah.
You know what I said? I said, my pug just died that was in the movie, and I had her for 14 years, and I can't stand this that she's dead. I said, I guess I'm going to join her, but I'm going to let everybody down that has contributed and believed in Redhead, and I can't do that.
There you go.
I said, I can't let everybody down like I don't want to.
Well, luckily,
so at least I had a little bit of drive in me left, like, oh, I can't let anybody down.
Well, luckily the surgeon came in and he said, if I cut her, she's going to die, and I'm not going to cut her. What we're going to do is we're going to pump her full of antibiotics. So they pumped in 2 days 19 bags of antibiotics into her, and
Crazy.
she blew out all the veins in each arm and was discharged in 2.5 days because there were so many psychotics in the hospital next to her.
I really dealt with Redhead moments in the hospital.
That I had to bring her home her with like remaining antibiotics and stuff by mouth. 2 weeks later, she's in this skimpy, spiky bra, and she blows this guy's head off with a real.
I said, I'm going to finish it.
So this was before the first film was even finished then?
Yes.
Okay.
We went through, the first film is very sentimental because we lost the pug. Before it was finished, she had a couple more scenes that she didn't get to do, and then I almost died on him after that. Shortly right after that, about died.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I felt like I was reborn. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to finish. I was in the hospital thinking I wasn't going to make it. Now it's going to get finished.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm in that skimpy outfit, ready to go and finishing, getting it done.
Feisty.
So, I seen a couple of your earlier films on Tubi, which So I was just wondering, how do you get films on there, and how do they pay you for that? How's that work? I mean, what's the process for that?
Okay, so one of the easiest ways as a filmmaker to get your film on any distribution platform or any streaming platform is to find a distributor. The hard part is to find a distributor that's not going to take all of your money and never pay you. I've done that. I've been down that road with my very first film.
The 12 pole.
Made a lot.
He got done that way.
Made a lot of money worldwide with them, and never saw a dime of it because
that sucks.
They didn't write a limit to the amount they were allowed to spend and cap. There's no cap to what they could spend on things. So they were able to basically mark up however much they wanted on the cost of their distribution. So right now, I will say that the one place you can go there's a website called Film Hub. They have a very rigorous level of things you have to go through as far as quality testing, QR. Your film has to be good, and they've really upped their standards. You can't skip. You have to know how to do all this stuff yourself. You have to know how to find any kind of little. If one frame is slightly a bit, skipped or blurred, they will message you and say you failed your QR test.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to do that, you also have to develop about 18 different versions of your own art. Like they have to be all different sizes for every platform imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
So with Reunion, you're talking about Reunion from Hell 1 and 2, I'm sure.
Yes.
Those we did go through Film Hub on those, and you do make money from it, but it's really difficult to make like your money back.
Right.
You're spending tens of thousands, and you might see single thousands.
So Tubi is more of an exposure thing than like really making money thing.
Well, money. Okay, so Tubi, I will say, Tubi is the biggest money on that realm. They're the ones that actually pay the most, and it's funny because it's commercial driven. So anytime you get annoyed about commercials on indie films, don't be so annoyed, because that's the only way you make any money.
Oh yeah.
And if you turn it off before the commercial, like you're really you're watching art, but you're not really paying for it.
Right. Yeah. Tubi's probably my favorite app. We talk about it every week. I said, I always joke that they should be sending me a check, because whenever we're reviewing a movie or whatever, it's like, oh, that's free on Tubi.
He drops movie titles every week, and it's all free on Tubi.
We love it too.
So the crazy thing about Prime, Amazon Prime, people are paying $3.99 per rental, $2.99 whatever per rental to stream it for a day and then lose it again. And Prime will pay you for like every $3 or $4 of a rental. They'll maybe pay you 5 cents.
Yeah.
And
They don't
Sounds
really
like the
support
music.
artists.
very icky.
They don't really support artists, and then all these people ask you like, when is it going to be on Amazon? When is it going to be on the? But actually, Tubi is probably one of the best one for people that's artists. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and also too, if you can lend, there are some even that will pay you in advance. They'll give you an upfront advance for their streaming. So like Shudder, if you can be lucky enough to get an exclusive relationship with Shudder, they will pay you in advance for a contract, kind of like Netflix. You know, Netflix will be like, I want you for 3 years. Here's $1,000.
That's like Adam Marcus had a deal with Secret Santa for Screambox, I think it was. That's where he put his movie, and he said that, you know, that worked out real well for him. And talking about the way that Prime pays you, like we have my friend JP Cross is in the comments. He's in a band called A Killer's Confession. It's a pretty decent band. They're pretty big, and are getting big, and they're on iTunes. They don't make anything, you know, from that stuff. It's horrible.
It's real sad. Well, and when people now, every time they ask me if we're on streaming, I'm like, no, I'm not ready to stop making money, because and seriously, we make our money self-distributing Blu-ray and DVD. I mean, you have to come up with your initial.
Well, and honestly, we can't really put it out there, even if we wanted to right now, because of all the festivals that we still have. So we tell people, you know, if you want it right now, buy the DVD or Blu-ray. But if something happens that you want to wait and you don't have a player, it'll probably be November or so before it'll go out on streaming.
We're way behind on shipping DVDs and Blu-rays, so that everybody.
We've had to make up self-distribute ourselves.
Well,
so it's been hard.
We also had a really big kick in the Jimmy recently.
Oh yeah.
So when we started doing campaigns and stuff like that, international shipping was like, you know, $10, $11 to ship a DVD. Now we went to the post office, USPS.
I went by myself while he was at his work.
I met her and I came out and she showed me a little piece of paper and it said $63 written on it.
That was the cheapest.
$63.
That was for the cheapest without even knowing exactly if they got it or not. To know if they got it or not, it was $98. And I was I don't know what to do. Like, I want to ship it to this person because I love them so much. Like, what do we do?
Jim Cornette, we're into wrestling, and Jim Cornette, he does a wrestling podcast. He sells stuff on there. And when that happened with him with international shipping, he just stopped doing it. It's like, guys, I can't. You know, when it goes down, I'll get you your stuff. But, you know, if you want your money back, I'll send you your money back. But you know, I mean, you can't spend $90 on an item that you're getting 15, you know, total, and then you know, kind of cover your costs and everything. You're losing $100.
But I'm still going to figure it out about shipping it to this one guy that bought it that's there because I love him to death.
We have several that we need to ship.
Yes, and I want him to see it, and the other people, I want them to have it too. So we're trying to figure out other routes that we can go so we can still send it to them.
We're looking at pirateship.com.
Yeah, because I love them so much. I want them to have it, and I care for them, and I'm like, I can't let them down. Because I don't want to let anybody down.
Essentially, what they're doing is they're forcing you to become a member of a site and become a member to where you're paying for shipping, like from home, and putting your label and then putting it like a Dropbox. They don't want to do the work in an office at USPS or hell UPS. The price to ship a DVD with UPS or FedEx is $150 to ship a DVD to France.
That is pew.
A $20 DVD.
That's awful.
So it's like
it's insane. I used to early 2000s.
He was in a band. He did a lot of this stuff himself too.
I did all my own shit. In the early 2000s, I used to sell T-shirt and CD bundles together to Japan in like 2002, $6, $7.
Yeah. And a lot of his fans were overseas. He was in a death metal band, so Japan, that's huge. Europe, that's huge.
I love that. So I was in a death metal band in the past. I love it.
He was, so shipping overseas all the time.
I'm just wondering now what it would cost to like send the same thing to Japan that I used to. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh man.
I think as long as it's not over 4 pounds, it's about the same price.
Mhm.
Essentially, that's kind of what you're looking at. They to think a 9-ounce DVD in a bubble mailer is the same price as a 4-pound package. The fact that they've
Yes.
lumped it all together
They
like
lumped
that.
it as a package. I was like, it's just a DVD. There's like, how much does it cost? I said, he bought a
$20.
DVD. It was $20. And there's like, well, it costs you at the cheapest at, this. And it was like
Wild.
$68 and then like
Man.
90 of them. And I was like, huh? What?
Man,
Like,
I feel fortunate now. I used to get those flat rate boxes, and I would roll up large and extra large T-shirts, and I'd fit a dozen of them in there, and I'd send that anywhere in the U.S. for like $6.95, and if I sent it overseas, it was like $11.95. Because I used to do trades too with other distros, even internationally, and it cost us nothing back then to do it.
The flat rate DVD box now. We ordered a bunch of flat rate boxes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be coming to us. A flat rate DVD box now, I think, is still even just using pirate ship. They're like $30. If you were to do it through the post office, still $60.
What the fuck?
it's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not
surprised.
in
I
a
was like,
band
what?
anymore.
Right.
Well,
And especially in your case when you're
Oh.
sending so much stuff overseas.
So
Yeah.
they're using that. They're using this code. They're still using COVID, like the backups on like shipping lines and
Yeah.
all this crap. It's so
Cute.
stupid.
We're gonna
It's just
blame
people-
COVID for the next 25 years or maybe
Forever.
more.
Forever.
Plenty of people looking for good jobs. I'm sure they wouldn't mind getting on a ship and making $100K a year to work. Because there's people living on ships and doing shipping like that make a lot of money.
I'm trying to think. How much is it to run a boat, Alexa?
I love it.
How much is that? How
Rick's
how
typing
kind of
it
boat
up
do I
right
need
now.
to sail across? What kind of boat do I need to sail across the ocean?
Oh my.
So as you were starting in your journey with making films, what directors really inspired you? And then maybe what actors inspired you coming up?
Well, I'll start. I'll say, John. Being a musician and a director,
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's a big one. However, as far as the violence goes, this is going to shock you a little bit. Some of the cinematography I do where I do like kind of quick shots, actually a little bit of Rob Zombie, but at the same time, there's also some Fulci and Argento.
Yes.
Oh, I love Fulci.
That's
That's my
it
jam.
right there.
There's a lot of Italian.
Yes. That's
In the
me.
last like 3 months, I've just went on this Fulci kick. Like you can see
Yes.
the zombie painting
Yes.
behind me.
Zombie's amazing.
Yeah, that's from what's the guy's name? I know his name. Angelo Mariano. Angelo Mariano. If you follow him on Facebook, he paints a lot of Italian horror. He paints whatever. Big Texas Chainsaw guy too. He does really good work, and seeing it like in this camera does it no justice. You have to see it in person.
No, it's badass.
Freaking amazing.
I also love Toby Hooper, but a surprising level of inspiration for the way I use fog and light comes from Spielberg.
Nice. Yeah. Zigzags is probably why I got into Fulci, because he's always talking about it on Death Curse Society, and that's probably why I got into Fulci. But lately, what I'm doing is like every week I'm going on eBay looking for either 4Ks or Blu-rays of Fulci. I've got like 10 of them now.
Well, the throat slash in House by the Cemetery is one of the great ones. I mean, it's very brutal. It's a great one. Gates of Hell is awesome with the drill through the head.
Oh yeah.
So one of my favorite effects films is Intruder with Tim and Sam Raimi, and they're in a supermarket, and there's this really great bandsaw scene. They cast this most brilliant, beautiful fake head that has teeth and everything, and it's so real looking that they had to cut a little bit of it, but I mean, this bandsaw just goes straight through the guy's face, and it's like, whoa, like all the way through his head and the way it's a lot of that's editing and the way the music works and the way the audio works.
Yes.
Nice for Bloody
Yes.
Essentials. They say they love Intruder.
But also William Lustig with Maniac is
Maniac, yes. He
Man-
said that inspired for me a little bit was Maniac.
Yeah, she is Maniac. Yeah,
I am
a little bit.
Maniac.
She's there's a little bit of that in there. So and she can tell you a little bit about what she is inspired by.
Well, I'm inspired about a lot of 80s films, but I got to say, one of my favorite ones is Demons and Demons 2.
Okay.
I love them. Talking about Italian horror.
Argent.
Yeah.
Argento.
Argento, yeah.
I love them so much that I would watch them over and over and over. And I don't know what it is, but when you would look at the demons, you can kind of see in a few shots of me, even though that I didn't plan it that way, it kind of looks a little bit kind of like that inspiration. Because I was thinking hardcore about, if I was really, because in Redhead where I'm kind of possessed.
Actually, Lamberto Bava movies, but yes.
Yes. Where I was possessed somewhat in this movie, I guess I kind of felt like I was kind of there because I was becoming part of a demon. And
nice.
so
there's a little Frank there from Hellraiser.
There's kind of Hellraiser, yes. And because I do love the Hellraiser movies a whole bunch.
Even when they send him to space?
That's actually not the worst one in the franchise, though.
Yeah,
I've only made it through the first 3, so I don't know. I'm behind the times on that.
Kim Myers from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is in that.
Who is it?
Kim Myers.
Okay.
She was Jesse's love interest in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of Jesse, he was in Reunion from Hell 2. Mark Patton, and then you had Lisa Wilcox and Danny Hassel.
Yes, and they were
that
wonderful. We loved them so much.
Danny is the guy you stand drinking light beer with.
Danny was amazing.
You start at 2:00 at the end of a scene, and it's all of a sudden 5, and the birds are chirping, and you're talking just about stuff.
He was so amazing, and Mark
He's awesome.
was so sweet because in the morning we'd eat breakfast. Sometimes we'd cook it with him, and we would just have the best time. Because he'd be like, "What are you having for breakfast?" And we'd tell him. He's like, "How'd you read my mind?" And I just loved him. There's a few times when we had a problem with the well. They had problems with the well, and I woke up in his arms, and I was like, how lucky do I get to wake up in Mark Patton's arms? And then Lisa Wilcox, I loved her. She was amazing.
Lisa's a strong individual.
She's a strong, wonderful woman. And
she doesn't take any shit.
She's incredible. And so she was incredible too to work with. My goodness.
I'm fairly certain, I haven't been able to really prove this yet, but I'm fairly certain she's the only final girl to appear in more than one movie and never die.
Yes. She is.
And she's the only one.
She's really fun, sweet, incredible, and she's caring. And
of course, Laurie Strode died once. Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell's still technically on that list.
Sidney Prescott.
Yeah, Cindy and Lisa Wilcox are the only two, but I got a feeling Nev's going out in the next movie.
So another thing that really drove us, I think, a lot with Redhead is kind of the guerrilla filmmaking. You can't talk about guerrilla filmmaking without talking about 2 directors for sure, and that's Sam Raimi and Tobe Hooper.
And that was kind of,
and also even to another extent, you've got Phantasm, that guy, Don Coscarelli. He filmed. He rented his equipment every weekend and rented on a Friday, so he paid for 2 days, didn't have to turn it back in until Mondays. Spent $30,000 on Phantasm and put out one of the best horror films ever. And so you're talking about people that really just kind of they used their inspiration and intuitiveness and ingenuity. And the biggest.
But you're kind of different though, because we have our equipment and you do everything with the movie 100%.
Well, they couldn't have, but they didn't have that.
That's the difference.
They didn't have the ability
I have to brag.
They didn't have the ability to own that stuff back then. Renting a camera.
Yeah, I know, but
it was the only possibility.
But you think about all that stuff before you even film it, and
I also think about how can I save a buck.
Think in
all
terms
important
of
parts of filmmaking.
And nowadays it's so much easier to edit than back then too, because
as long as you're willing to learn
on a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
They got all the editing.
They got all the editing
back then 40 years ago.
Me and him with Redhead, like we both did direct it together, even though he was we directed together. I felt like he was a head director, but at the same time, I wanted Redhead to be kind of who I wanted her to be. I wanted her to transition. He wanted her to transition, but I had things in my head and he had things in his head, and we put it together. And when you watch the movie, you can kind of see she was this weak individual that kind of, you see her transition bits and bits till at the end she was totally different. She was like, demon possessed, crazy woman. And I wanted to portray that a whole lot with this, and with my makeup and how I wanted her to portray. And he did a lot with that too with me. Like we really put our heads together.
Well, that's how we work together. I'm kind of a technical director, and she is character director. She's like, I want this character to be this, and I have this character in my mind. And because it's called Redhead, and I'm in every fucking scene, we meet in the middle on creativity. And how are we going to kill these fuckers?
Yes, and we everything because we have the same likeness and everything, so that makes it work when you both agree because you have the same likeness and wants in something. It really helps like together to work together like this.
So fun little tidbit. Redhead was born in a bar. And it's just us sitting and kind of bonding and enjoying ourselves. And so many times, she's a middle-aged hottie and gets a lot of assholes coming up and saying stupid stuff. So sometimes we would just look at somebody and be like, how'd you kill that guy over there? How would you kill him? So like it's born out of like those conversations you have with your partner, with your friend. There's somebody like, what would you do if you could do anything to that person over there?
So,
we dealt with some real terrible scums out there that would talk to me in ways that you wouldn't believe, that would talk. And they all called me Red all the time.
It's true.
Which is, I'm used to that. But at the way that they would say it though was like, hey, Red.
Take off those pants.
Show me some nipples. Like that. And it's just like,
so during our world premiere for Redhead, literally she's it's at the point where
same thing happened.
It's at the point where she's tormenting me, like my character, like
I was in the shower scene when they said show me a nipple.
They're like, just move the hand down, show us a nipple. They yelled it out loud.
Big 300 people there premiering. This guy yells at, and then I end up meeting him at Walmart with his wife that was redheaded too, and they were amazing people. But he walked up and said, "I'm the one that said, show me a nipple." I'm like,
show us a nipple.
I'm like, it's nice to meet you.
See, so what I want to know, like, for like the question for all the weird, creepy guys out there that go up to women in bars and use like those creepy lines. When has that ever actually worked for you?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work.
We actually asked that, like the bartender in the bar none in the beginning of the movie. He's like, they comment on the girl at the end of the bar and say like great tits, and I think that's supposed to work or something.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cheesy line, but it's actually really true. Like
the whole movie was kind of true. And for anybody that thought that the movie was kind of unreal with how people approached me so much, that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. That happens. So, we had some movie critics we loved them to death, but they didn't think it might be true. But also it really happened. But in the town, so we use it as an inspiration for our movie because it really happened.
But in the town we live in, we would walk down the street killing people. Like we'd have cameras pointed across the street and doing stuff.
Nobody bothered us.
Nobody, not a single cop stopped. Not a single car would drive by. At times, so
but we have the mayor's love and the police department's love here.
Yeah, they do.
So they were in the movie, and they also know we're filmmakers, so they don't care what we do here because they know that we're making movies.
Yeah, Chris Tatum, Mayor, much love to you.
Much love to you, and we also want to give a shout out, Dina, the Sawyer that I scalped.
She was Mimi in the beginning.
Mimi and Scott, which was my husband that got. Mm-hmm. In the beginning of the movie. Incredible people. They are totally wonderful. We love them so much. They support us with every bone in their body. And I grew up with them. And we worked with them at the Haunt in between the filmmaking. They've always supported Sammy. They always supported us together. And we love them. And we'll give you a shout out. We love you.
Awesome.
you for being such wonderful people with us and being in our film. They're in the second movie too, with great roles.
So you just answered that question a little bit ago.
Well, so
And it was all- I was going to ask you if any of Autumn Blacksmith's character was based on you at all, and you've answered that. But what is it like? Like the thing I like most about the movie is how different it is, because you never see a female antagonist she's kind of a protagonist and an antagonist, right? She fits
Yeah.
both molds. But you don't see that in movies, and I think it's something that we kind of need in horror, and I think it's pretty cool to have. We haven't really had that since 1980, right, with Friday the 13th.
Yes. Well, I said to him one day, I said, I was like, I saw that they were looking for female hardcore characters that was brutal, and he said, yeah. And we was already talking about doing a film which was kind of like Redhead, but we was going to call it Meat instead.
Okay.
And we did a short film on it for a local thing here. It was like one of those 5-minute shorts, and everybody went nuts over it.
It was actually going to be more driven about the opening family, like the husband and wife. It was going to be more about them taking victims and less about her. But we decided, no, let's tip it on its end.
I was going to bring that up too. As I say, is there any chance of seeing what led up to the beginning of the movie, maybe further down the road?
Yes, we're going to put it on the Redhead back.
Like as far as backstory.
Yeah.
Like what that family, maybe a prequel to Redhead.
What we did was all the people started going about. They was like, oh, you was the one that ate, like you ate that stuff, like you was the one that ate all that gore and the meat from those people and all that. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, we want to like see a sequel. And so they was telling all of us that was in it that they wanted to see a sequel.
Yeah, for the short
film. So
we
decided, well, we're just going to make a full feature then.
But with so as far as seeing kind of where the family that was torturing people in the beginning comes from, I don't know how likely it is to see an entire like prequel to actual Redhead, like see like go back. But I will say we will definitely be seeing Mimi Sawyer, the wife.
Yes.
A little bit more of her. We'll see her in hell.
Oh, it'll be a good scene too. Or we got written a good one.
we will see her dead husband in hell. We'll see.
And obviously, their name came from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Obviously, right?
Sawyer exists. Yes, of course. But her husband's going to be there. There's a lot of people coming back.
Yeah, my husband will be back.
Hell, I make a reappearance in it. And,
my old husband will be back in a real nasty form, even though he's not supposed to really be in hell. He will be there.
Well, and as you've seen, Puggles kind of comes back a little bit in a really horrible way.
Well, speaking of, no time like the present. I'm going to go ahead and play that teaser trailer if I can find it. It should be like right there. I know where it is. See, I'm not good with all this modern technology. See, this should. There we go. So for those of you who haven't seen, this is the teaser trailer for Redhead 2, Deadhead. And yes, they are now funding on Indiegogo. We shared the thing on our page. It's all over the place. Go there, donate whatever you can. There's all kinds of cool perks, including for $300 you can get killed in the flick. I seen. Yeah, I know, man. I'm trying to figure out if I can get the money for that.
I appreciate you.
Bloody Essential says, "Wow, I'm even more excited now."
Yeah,
if you guys can figure out a way to kill me in Cleveland, I'm definitely on board to give you the $300.
Well, maybe we should bring up our cameras when
Yeah.
it comes time to the convention.
I'm serious. If you can do it here, and I don't have to travel, and all I got to do is come up with the $300, I am in.
Cheers.
And then, if anybody gets their head chopped off in the film, I would like to buy that prop too. I've been trying to accrue a screen-used head for like ever.
That's cool. Yeah.
So,
We've been
just something to keep in mind.
We've been thinking about doing a decapitation, a head crunch kind of thing, but the thing is, it's a very expensive prop to make.
Oh, I know.
So,
we had Bob Kurtzman on the show. You know who Bob Kurtzman is, obviously, right?
Yes.
Robert Kurtzman.
Yeah,
and he was saying like they could be like 10 grand or something.
Yeah,
that's why they reused it in Secret Santa. They reused the head from Kip Marcus's head from Jason Goes to Hell. They just retooled it a little bit and used it again in Secret Santa. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen Secret Santa. It's pretty cool. It's a fun movie. A lot of gore, a lot of craziness, and they like I said, they reused that head, and it's pretty sweet the way they did it. And that movie had like a budget of like, I want to say like $3,000 or $4,000 only.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You know,
was it that low?
I think it was, man. Because I figured it out versus Halloween's money. That might have been adjusted for inflation the other way, you know, but way less adjusted for inflation than like the first Halloween, the first Texas Chainsaw, all of those, like way less.
We still appreciate that budget for them and doing it.
Well, so many people though shortchange that when they consider a budget, they don't really consider all. They don't consider their gas for driving. They don't consider their food while they're eating. And they don't consider so many factors when it just literally your time spent talking to people is part of the budget.
Oh, absolutely.
That's money.
Time is money.
Yeah, time is very much money, especially anymore. So when you're talking about every bit of effort that you're doing, if you're a specialist or you could be considered a professional, if you're working on something, you got to factor in when you're talking about taxes and you're talking about budget, you have got to factor in time and labor.
Yeah, absolutely.
To put a dollar amount on it.
If you bought a case of water to put on set, that counts. I mean, everything.
Yeah. Which is what, $3,000 now for a case of water?
Something like that. Something like that.
Argentina, folks.
Right on. So, so how is the GoFundMe going? Is it going pretty good so far? Indiegogo.
Well, we crossed over $1,000 pretty quickly, and it slowed down a little bit. We've actually promoted it a lot less than we should have because we all of a sudden got 2 more festivals lined up.
Yeah, so we promoted those too.
It's tough, when Facebook kind of if you put up more than one post, it kind of limits you. So
they kind of limit us now to like if you don't have one post and you put 3, one of those posts will get showed more than the other post for some reason. Kind of crazy.
Which brings me to the other part of budgeting is Facebook advertising.
Yes.
Which is a huge part of a budget.
I still don't understand the algorithm of that site.
I don't either.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's how you make money, by not making sense.
Yeah.
Like put more of your stuff with like every one of your posts, and it's crazy.
It is weird. So even on my personal page, I'll post 2 very similar things. One thing will get 300 people will see it. The other 3 people will see it. It's like, how's that possible?
Yes, that's what happens with us.
Yeah. How's that even possible?
Yeah, it's wild.
So you said you have 2 more convention appearances, film festival appearances coming up. We obviously know you're going to be at Ohio TerraCon. Where's your other appearance?
We just got picked up at Freedom Film Festival in Columbia, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And then also a really huge one, Houston Horror Film Festival picked us up. We're not gonna be able to be at those, but those are festivals that we're official selections at. So we'll see if we get any nominations. Which just to be okay, so just to be selected as a feature film is a big deal because there's with programming time, there's not a lot of time to put. Just like with Ohio Terracon, there's not.
That's what I was wondering. How are they going to show all these films?
Yeah, so most of them are short films. Like if you're a short, you got a much bigger chance. But also, we always hear, we get messages back from these people and they say, "Congratulations, we had 5,000 entries this year and you were picked." And it's like, well, great, yeah. And
we just feel lucky for what awards we've even got right now, from getting Best Actress to Best Features to Best Effects. Like we're really just glad to have what we have. But then when we see there's more, we're like, oh, we're more than thankful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of hard work and it's
so much hard work.
When people,
and nobody knows what you guys know. Like we don't tell everybody about all the stuff we went through.
So so don't worry about spoilers. What was your guys' favorite kills in Redhead?
Favorite kills? Oh my god! Yeah, I just freaking I loved everything about the film. I mean, like all of the gore was just insane through the whole thing. It just I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite for sure, but yeah, it was all good, man. Did you have a specific favorite, Ryan?
My thing is this too. And watching the teaser for 2, it begs the question: where did you find any more movie blood to shoot that teaser? I thought you used all of it in the world in part 1.
He made it. He makes our blood. He does an incredible job.
So I thought the world supply was out though after,
Yeah, he keeps on making it.
Well, we spent about $3,000 on blood just in the first one.
Yeah.
Just blood.
That was a huge movie budget.
It's definitely a lot of blood, that's for sure.
We got to make more. And what happens is Sammy makes mouth blood separate from the blood that's used all over me or all over the victims. And then the victims, they have mouth blood special. It tastes like fruit punch and cherry. And it's so good, but yet it looks so great.
A little bit of chocolate.
A little bit of chocolate and cocoa.
I was actually going to ask if there were special flavors.
Yeah,
I swear I was going to ask.
It makes it a happy thing when you die.
Well, yeah, you got. I mean, I was with it all in your mouth.
Sounds like high school. I promise it's going to taste good. Just open your mouth. I promise.
So it's cool when he has 2 types, because then he makes that on the stove, and then he's got the other type that he's making that's ready to be thrown all over everything. It's awesome.
And then on the back burner is actual dinner, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. We have blood
He does a great job at making blood.
We have blood on our ceilings and everywhere.
It's all in our kitchen. It's all over our walls everywhere. We had Evan Mackey in with us
Kevin Edwards
last year. Yeah. And Evan Mackey experienced it, even seeing it all over our walls and refrigerator. He was in the first movie, and he was in some of the Walking Dead stuff.
Cool.
He stayed with us for a while.
Yeah, he had the Christmas tree death and reunion from Hell Part 2.
And he also had the death where I killed him with a knife in the backyard when I had Puggles with me when he come and bothered me.
He commented on our tits and said,
he said, "In this light, your tits look effing good."
Yeah.
That was him.
So I got to say thank you, Kevin, for
thank you,
commenting on
Kevin. We love you.
You commented on our work.
Yeah, we got a lot of new people in the comments that are obviously coming because they're fans of you and fans of the film. So hopefully they took the time to like and subscribe and all that good stuff.
Kevin the one that gave us our award at Always Late TV Movie Awards.
It's
and
just outside of St. Louis.
That place was amazing. Everything that they did there for their awards is incredible. Also with Chicago Horror Film, it was incredible. Where I won Best Actress, and we appreciate CJ so much too.
Nice.
Yeah. It's been.
I got a feeling you're going to win some awards. Well, considering I've seen the competition too.
I really hope so, because I'm really wanting to put my heart and soul into this one too.
Well, you're a judge. You can't really tell us that. I mean, that's kind of unfair, isn't it?
I mean,
No,
I'm just telling you, I seen a lot of the movies that are playing, and like I know,
Thank you.
So I don't know
What
if I'm a judge. I don't know if I'm judging the movies. I'm just watching them, and then I rate them on there, and I think that's who they. What I'm doing is how they pick who goes to the thing.
So
Thank
I
you.
might be judging them at the thing too. I don't know.
Thank
'Cause
you.
I-
I
New
really
for
want
me.
to put my heart and soul into this thing, and he does too. Like we
But
both.
you can tell for sure.
Rick-
I think
Rick's- Rick's a
But-
much better person to choose as a judge than me. They'd throw me out of there. All the filmmakers would just jump me at the end. Because even when I like movies, like
But,
even when he likes
you're
movies, he
incredible.
sounds like he
Both
doesn't.
All right.
incredible.
All right. So what was your
You're just like us, both of you.
He's
so what was
he's
your
very
biggest-
critical.
What
That's
was your
all.
biggest criticism of the movie then?
I'm not gonna go there just yet, but I will actually finish the last question that you asked now that I had time to think about it. And I think my favorite kill is the backyard one because I like it actually was kind of prolonged and you can see it suffering. And
Mhm.
And just the whole thing that leads up to it, like you need any company, that whole deal. Like I have all the company I need right here.
Well, that's
I
because
think that was the quote. I think I got that right.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
She
Evan
had
Mackey.
just
the
found
dude-
her happiness.
And,
I just
and
found my happiness with
Yeah.
my pug, and
Yeah.
he destroyed it. And
it was like the
Here,
first
ruining my
time in the film too, where
And-
you seem kind of at peace, and he disturbed you. So fuck him.
yes, and when
And
he
he's a
came
creepy
to my
ass guy. We like
backyard
seeing those guys get
up,
killed.
I
Yeah.
was really irritated. Like I told you, I didn't want any company, and here you show up here, and you mess up my night with this pug that I found that I love so much, and I'm trying to like draw my happiness after losing my husband, and then here he showed up and said that, and I was like, oh. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, I definitely think to me the film reminded me, it had Texas. I tell everybody it's like it's got definitely some Texas Chainsaw, Rob
Yeah.
Zombie type of, things going on. But, and then Terrifier is such a big deal right now, and it has a lot of that going on
It does. Yes.
in a way.
We
But
was drawn
but
to that
at the end of
too,
the day,
but
it's totally different because you got the whole female perspective, and like he was talking about that guy, such a creep in the movie, and most of the guys are just. I mean, if you're a woman watching this, I would feel empowered. I would think.
For me, like since you want to go, that deep, I'll go a little deeper. Then, for me, I got like, you brought up Terrifier, the gore part, but I got a little kind of I spit on your grave vibe too.
yes.
That's there without
Yes.
without the extended rape scene. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It told about the rape, kind of in a real stinky way, but yet at the same time you didn't really see anything except what trauma that I had in my face and crying that I really cried, so that you would see I was really hurt hearing that he did that to me while I was sleeping.
So that's that specific scene where she's with Ashley there, when he says you were good when you were napping. That scene, it was about 15 degrees in that room.
It was a hardcore scene to do.
For hours.
We was in there probably, I'd say 6 hours, and we didn't have a lot of takes that we had to redo. It was just a lot of dialogue,
various versions,
various
angles.
that we had to go to make sure it was done right. But our
Okay.
takes was perfect. Like me and him, we busted those takes perfect.
It was a nasty scene. It was really the dialogue, and that's the thing. I love brutal dialogue.
And I really cried during those scenes. I really threw up.
And I'll tell you what, you're getting your just due with the awards and stuff. That dude could act his ass off too.
Right.
Yes.
He was like
Me and him.
very, very unlikable, and that's good, because
He was-
that's what
Yes.
he's going for.
And that's why I say
Like,
I'd like to see more of him and what
Yeah.
was going on with him to make him him.
Me
And like a
him
prequel if it
really
ever could happen.
bonded. Like me and him bonded, but we already was bonded as friends. But when we did that
He actually
scene,
married us.
he married us. But at the same time, when we did that scene together, I don't know, there was a connection with me and him. Like we could banter like nobody's business to
When
where
she
it was
said-
like
she said
so
you-
perfect.
She said, "You can grab my hair and slam
I said, you grab my hair and you slam me into that thing. I don't care what you do to me. And by golly, he did. And I loved it because that's what I wanted. I wanted that realism of it, like the real hardcore stuff. I wanted him to really like grab me if he could have been more rough with me if he wanted. I don't care.
The last time a woman
what it-
said that to me, it wasn't during a movie scene. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Well, he kind of did grab me and throw me against the bed thing, and I didn't care. I was like, do whatever.
Yeah, what I really like about his character is the like he mocks people, like he acts like a total child, but he's absolutely flipping into violent. But I will say this: every aspect of that was written and directed.
It was all written by him.
Completely. You would think that their scene was ad-libbed. Everything that they said was on paper, and that's. Some of the movie was not like that, but their scene, it's incredible. Like they took the script, they went off for about an hour while I was
practiced together, and that after we practiced together, we knew exactly what we had to do. After one practice, that's all it took. We said it together one time, and we went in there and did it. And frigid cold weather that was so cold, and here I have rheumatoid arthritis along with problems with Raynaud's, and I can't handle cold temperatures, but I was a champ and I did it. And
she didn't turn off the tears either. Like
I didn't turn off the tears. I just kept the tears going, and I was ready for whatever I had to do. Like I was prepared for freezing. I didn't even feel the cold really. I was so much as Autumn, I didn't feel anything except her. It was kind of wild.
Oh yeah, it was definitely very impactful.
Right? Yeah, very intense. Like
intense.
Right off the
intense
bat,
is a good word.
Feel
like
anything.
Intensity.
He was kind of shocked. He has videos of me in between while they were taking breaks, and I stayed in character because I didn't want to lose her.
At the same time, though, I mean, because this is the way we work, I was also still very just focused on my job and doing my thing. I didn't ask her a whole lot about how she was doing. Because I know,
and I was really tied up, hardcore tied up, to where it hurt me, and I didn't care.
She's smart. She's smart enough to get up if she needs to. I'm doing my thing. So
I sat there.
The more I stop and I ask, "Are you okay, baby? Are you doing good?" I'm prolonging
I just stayed.
her torture.
Absolutely.
I'm prolonging that whole thing. Everybody. So I'm running around getting things done. Next take. Kind of got time to go. Next take.
It helped me staying there. Being her still instead of getting up and taking any breaks, because I felt her more by being there tied up and being miserable. So I stayed there tied up being miserable so that I could be her for real.
So when she says fuck you and she takes a bite out of the guts.
Yeah.
So to do the vomiting really good, she drank a bunch of red strawberry wine.
Yes.
Ahead of time on her stomach to try and plus so the meat that the Oscar Sawyer character has in this little Tupperware container was bought at Walmart like 10 hours earlier. It was rotisserie chicken meat.
Yeah.
So it was put in the fridge, but then it was brought out.
When he opened it up, it smelled like dog farts in the whole room. So like it smells like absolute gas in your face, and
it was terrible.
So
but
she had a bunch of red strawberry wine on empty stomach. Dog farts in her face. And
I didn't care about the dog farts in my face. I was just thinking about her.
And then she takes a bite out of this gelatin, which unflavored gelatin smells like absolute horrible, rotten, dead animals. And when you bite into that and chew it, and I said, partially swallow it, but then let it kind of get to the back of your throat. And
Well, he said to me, I want you to throw up for real on camera. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I could watch blood and gore all day. Puke really grosses me.
Yeah, Ryan had just finished eating when he caught that scene.
Yeah, I did.
But what's funny, I really didn't get grossed out by any of that because I have a hard stomach when it comes to that. The whole room got sick when I puked and along. And they all, with that scene, they all was like,
"Oh, it covered your face.
It smells so bad. Like, it smells so bad."
See, Charles Sherrod from The Dive, he says, Hollywood actors film in controlled environments on sound stages these days. No sense of realism or practicality. I like what you guys are doing. Get back to the working aspects and giving fans the blood and sweat and tears of work. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
I agree.
We really are trying to do the realism of it all.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to put that up there so we could get to it when he can, but I didn't realize it was going to cover your whole faces.
That was really sweet that he... Thank you so much.
No, that's how we feel about
That's how we feel. Thank you.
And Shannon says she's trying to have a glass of wine.
Love you.
Is it red strawberry wine?
Sweet.
Well, see, so I mean, when I puked on camera, it looked like phlegm.
12 pole.
No. But I puked in Redhead.
Oh yeah, he puked on Redhead too. In the last.
It just looks like
So much
something
puke
else.
going on. Who could
He
keep
also
track?
puked in 12 pole too.
Just that reminds me of, like you said, the whole room got sick. It reminds me of that scene in Stand By Me at the pie eating contest.
Oh
Where
yeah.
one guy gets sick and then everybody starts puking.
Well, so not only did the rotisserie chicken smell really bad, but when she started puking, her gut contents started smelling really bad. It was the gas and the gelatin.
I didn't eat anything. I just drank all that stuff so it could be real.
But then the boom operator, the poor boom operator is standing over top listening to this shit, and he's like, Matt Castile, he's got the mic right over her head, listening to every bit of his ears, and he's hearing and smelling it, and like he's like, actually, some of his gagging ended up in the audio. Like you can hear.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan about that. Like I can see heads, blood. Yeah. Not a big fan of the
That was the one
throat.
time that we actually had a boom operator, so that was pretty awesome. Because the rest of the time it was him. Bless his heart, I love Matt.
Our crew is mostly one.
I
person.
love the whole team that was there that night, and Dina was there, and she got sick too, and I love her to death. And Scott,
she was like,
she was like, oh, I love her.
Right on.
So, where can our followers follow you?
The best place that we are most frequent is Redhead Movie on Facebook. Also, our personal pages, Johnna Hodge, Sam Hodge. You'll recognize us by our constant advertisements. If you click on our page immediately, you'll know who we are. So yeah, we are on Instagram as.
I'm bad about Instagram.
Yeah,
I need to keep more on that.
Instagram can be a really great tool, and we're trying to do better. On Instagram, we're Cine Savage Films, with like cinema, but just Cine Savage. And she's actress Johnna Hodge.
Right on. Yeah, you guys are really active on Facebook. So I don't do Instagram. I have an Instagram, but I hardly ever am on it.
Me either. I'm trying to get better at it.
I can't be on all 10 of these damn social website things. You know, I just can't.
I'm so old school that it's been hard for me to keep up with Instagram.
It's a lot of work.
And I need to, because I know it would help things.
Right on. So we have been going for an hour and 20 minutes. We usually only go for an hour, so we're definitely in overtime right now.
Well, we appreciate and love you.
Oh, we love you too. We thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I'm glad we got to get this together. And this has been one of our most active shows we've ever had, man. I mean, a lot of comments going on. Thank you guys in the comment section so much for coming. Hopefully, those of you that are new will like and subscribe to the page. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Yeah, definitely would appreciate that. And yeah, man, it's been really fun. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up, get you guys out of here, and we're gonna see you in Cleveland. And definitely, I mean, if you can figure out a way to kill me in the film in Cleveland, I'm down, and we'll make that happen.
We'll bring the stuff so we can do it.
Hey, how much of a beard
I got the money.
How much of a beard do you have?
What's that?
How much of a beard do you have? Like a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, I know how I'm gonna kill you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So I definitely won't shave. I was thinking about shaving, but I'm not going to.
He's like, don't shave that thing.
Yep. We'll be ready
nice
to go.
Handle. You got a nice handle there, son.
whatever works, man. Dave Van Duzen says, great show. Thanks, you guys. Charles Sherrod says, great job with the Redhead guys.
Love you, Dave.
Dave is the one that got his intestines wrapped around his neck.
Here's my Redhead right here.
He is. We love him, and we love Patricia. They're both incredible.
All right, so like I said, we're going to wrap this up. Thursday, we're going to be live at 7. I have no idea what we're doing. That's our normal time. We'll be live talking about something. I think we're just going to do like a freestyle show and just talk about different things.
We haven't had one like that in a while.
Yeah, we haven't one like that in a while, so we'll probably do that. Next week on Thursday, we are going to have Hal Havens from Night of the Demons, who's going to be a guest at Ohio Terracon with the Night of the Demons reunion. They're going to also have the Toxic Avenger reunion. They're going to have all kinds of films showing. I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen all of them. A lot of the ones I've seen are really, really cool, including, of course, Redhead. Redhead will be playing there. They'll be there. I'm sure you guys will have DVDs and stuff to sell, right?
Yes.
Right? And you can get a signed DVD.
Did they give you a screening schedule yet? Do you know when the film will be screening?
we're supposed to find out.
Zach messaged and said that it would be released like sometime this coming week.
Yeah.
No, Zach's got his hands full. Like it's a whole lot. I know.
Okay.
Like
I was just curious.
Yeah, and he's starting to get ready for his next thing too. He's doing a pop culture con, which also has a couple horror icons there. I forget who. There's somebody I really want to meet. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
Some of our producers will be there too that you guys can meet too.
Awesome.
We have one. Her name's Misty Napier. She's
Mr.
coming.
Wagner.
Yeah, she's coming from Texas. Misty,
Okay, cool.
I love her. She's like my soul sis. You guys will love her. She's incredible.
She'll be in Redhead too.
She'll be in
There you
Redhead.
go.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
With
So
me.
definitely, guys, check out that Indiegogo page. They have all kinds of cool perks. $10 for a thank you, up to $75 to be an associate producer, $300 to be killed in the film, to some props of the film, the screen use bra.
Yes.
I seen
From Redhead
300
1
bucks?
and 2. Yes.
So all kinds of cool stuff to check out, and then like you can also just donate a couple bucks in the just in the thing. You can just pick no perk and just do a cash.
Every little
donation.
bit helps. There's no
every dollar counts for sure.
Even a share. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to get that funded so we could see what happens with Redhead. And again, thank you guys so much for coming on. We're gonna wrap this up, get out of here, and yeah. So maybe you guys ain't doing nothing. Well, you say you work on Thursdays, but if you're not doing anything, jump in the live and talk in the comments, and we have fun here. Awesome. But
Thank you so much.
the fireworks.
I love the fireworks.
That's the extent of our special effects. Ryan's iPhone. If he
love
does
it.
this, it makes fireworks. But yeah, so we're gonna get out of here. Ryan, you got anything else?
Is our appearance on Bloody Essentials going to drop tomorrow?
No, it's I don't have it in the thing, the ticker. Talk horror remakes and meet them at Ohio Terracon. Bloody Essentials, they're going to be there at Ohio Terracon, by the way, July 17th. There it is. Our episode we just recorded a Bloody Essentials who was popped in here a couple times during the
next
podcast.
week, next Wednesday then. Okay.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, because today's the 9th, dude. Tomorrow's the 10th.
It all blends together. It's all. So yeah, we'll be on there on the 17th. Anything else though?
Thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. And it's a special Tuesday, and I need some sleep, and I need some food, and there goes the neighborhood.
All right, brother.
We love you.